What's up, guys? It's your girl Tati K again. That was too much energy. What's up, guys? It's your girl Tati K, and if you see me wearing the same outfit in my last video, it's because today I wanted to record 2 videos in the same day. I'm wearing the same outfit. If you don't like it,
you don't like it. You don't like it.
I sure damn don't like it.
Well, then what you want me to do?
I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, because like I said, I didn't post for like a week, and I'm trying to catch back up on my weekly posts. That's a lot of breath from the last story time. All right, so I was debating between 2 story times to tell, and this story time will get me in trouble. I'm gonna get some enemies off of this one. All right, so this is a story time of. This still make me kind of mad. How my best friend stole my ex. You better watch out for them snake friends. Like, they ain't no joke to play around with. They will snake you real quick. They will. Alright. So this is gonna have to be a part 1 and part 2 story time, because it's a doggone, it might be 3 parts. It's a really long story time. I'm trying to make it 2 parts though. So back in 2015, I met this boy. I'm gonna call him Jerry. Me and Jerry met at an event at church, because we were a bit like in a Pathfinders club, which is kind of like boys and girls club, but like together, if that makes sense. I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of like boys and girls club. Either way, so me and him. Well, he met me there. I never really noticed him when we were at the event, but he seen me, he came up to me, he spoke to me. Now, when I met him, I didn't think he was very attractive at all, honestly. I didn't really think he was attractive, honestly. But he did seem like a very respectable, very nice guy, very educated, you could say. He was very smart. And he talked, you know, those people that could talk very smart, you know, they can just articulate their words very well. Anyways, he seemed like an overall nice guy. So we started texting from there. And by the way, this event was in another state. And come to find out, at the end of the event, we learned that we both lived in the same state, which was another one. And you know, the people that are so smart, you know everything, you can't learn anything. So I didn't even know it at the time, but he was kind of like one of those trolls. So we were talking, I made a comment, and then he tried making it a fact. Really, it was his opinion on what I said. I don't even remember the conversation, but I feel like we got into a little mini argument then, and I don't know. From that little argument, it did leave a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. I'm just like, you are one of those know-it-all people, and I don't like those people that feel like they know it all, because like I said, when you know everything, you can't learn anything. So after a while, you know, getting to know each other, we became friends. He went to one church and I went to another church, and they weren't very far apart from each other. And yeah, we just became friends. We began talking every day, and after a while, we became best friends. So we were friends for about, I want to say 2 years before we started dating. I didn't really want a boyfriend, and I didn't really want him to be my boyfriend. But like I said, you know those people that are just, you know, just nice and respectable, and it's kind of like you don't have a reason as to why you wouldn't want to be with them, but you just know you don't want to be with them. Yeah, it was kind of one of those situations. But like I said, you know, I was like, well, this is my best friend, I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot, even though I didn't really want to. Sorry, but yeah, I just went ahead and gave it a shot, and he was my first boyfriend. Now, I wouldn't really say this, compared to the relationships I've been in later, or the relationship I'm in now, I wouldn't look at that relationship and consider that a very serious relationship, honestly. Even though I do know he did truly love me, I can't say that. Just listen to my story, bro. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all tell me what y'all think. So, yeah, like I said, we've been friends I don't want to say very long time, but we've been friends for a while. Then we began dating around like my last year of high school, and he was a year younger than me also, which is also another reason why I didn't want to date him, because I don't really like dating people that are younger than me. Not because I feel like they're less mature or anything, I just don't like doing that. When I would run into some of the people I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm dating Jerry, they'd be like, what? You're dating Jerry? I never would have thought Jerry and you would be dating. Like, I'm just like, dang, why would they be saying that? But it's because, like, we're very two different personalities. I'm more mature, you know, but silly, goofy, laid back personality. He's more of a hyped, upbeat, goofy, immature, very kiddish, annoying, very annoying personality, but was still a nice person. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it at that. I got so many stories I could tell from that relationship. It's not even funny. I got a lot of stories. So we had been dating for like a year and a half, and everything was okay. I didn't really want to be with him, so you know those people, it's kind of like, it's hard to break. I would never suggest you date your best friend personally, because especially when it's in a situation like this, because it can be hard to break up with them because you don't really know what to tell them because they haven't really done anything wrong. But you just don't feel like this is a relationship fit for you. And maybe it's just not your best friend. Maybe it's just somebody you just truly aren't in love with. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, at some point in the relationship, I did love him. I did have love for him. I did care. I can say I genuinely cared about him as a person. This is killing my arm. I did care about him as a person. But I really didn't see us moving forward like that, honestly. I couldn't. The immaturity was just too obvious, too out there. It was just entirely too much. And don't ever think that in a relationship, oh, well, you know, if you just give this person some time, they're going to change, they're going to get better, or they'll do this. That's not true, okay? What you are presented is what you will have, point blank. Period. That's just what you're going to have. What I show you is who I am. What I'm showing you is what I'm going to give you, okay? It's just, don't ever expect someone to change over time, or especially for you, because who they are is who they are, and that's who they will be forever. People do change, but 9 times out of 10, if they're showing you a certain person or personality that they have, that is who they are. Now, when we started dating, I noticed a little change in him that I didn't really like. And it was kind of like a possessive type of personality, which, you know, I kind of like my guys a little possessive. But it was just kind of like, but maybe because I didn't really like it in him because, like I said, I didn't really see the relationship lasting that long. And him, he just, for instance, and this is a key part to remember in this story, he did not want me to add, follow, or speak to any of his friends that he knew. And I personally didn't care because they're not my friends, they're your friends. You know, he would always say he was afraid that I might start liking one of them or try to talk to one of them, but none of your friends are cute, so what are you talking about? Anyways, I respected his wishes nonetheless, because even though I wasn't deeply or genuinely, truly in love with him, you know, I still respected him as a person, and I did respect the relationship nonetheless, because it's something I chose to be in. Clown. You know, I still respected the relationship. So, you know, I never added any of his friends or nothing like that. So, also during this time period, I befriended another girl. Befriended? I became friends with another girl I knew for a long time, but I never was really friends with, because she just has one of those personalities where it's kind of like, I feel like I'm better than everyone else. And it's not that I'm looking at her and getting this vibe. It's I see how she acts towards certain people. And it's just kind of like, bruh, just because you have this, that, and the third, don't feel like you're better than somebody else, because you could be in their same predicament or same situation. Like, everything you have can be taken away from you. And her family does well. Don't get me wrong. Like, no hate here. I applaud you all. But, like I said, don't ever get your head too high in the clouds, because you could come crashing down at any time. You know, I didn't really befriend her, not only because of that, but because, you know, we just never spoke to each other. And she was also someone who was younger than me, and most of my friends were usually older than me or my age. But, you know, a lot of people, even adults, told me, you know, I would kind of watch out for her. I don't know if I would really be her friend. And it's not that they were saying that just to be petty or kind of mean or anything like that, but it's because they knew her parents, they knew how they acted, they knew who they were, and it's just one of them things where it's like, it's just our personalities, our families, it's not going to click at all. Or something that we're gonna get to that. It's just something that would not last long, I'll tell you that. But you know, I tried being the girl's friend because she did not have many friends. She was homeschooled, and it's like I feel like she was kind of in a bubble. But I don't know. I try to see the good in people, so I just felt like, you know, maybe deep down inside, maybe you are like a real human being. Like maybe you act goofy just like the rest of us, or like me. I don't know. I'm kind of goofy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of goofy. So I'm like, bro, you can't just always be this serious. So I began talking to the girl. We became friends. We became really close. I really can say I genuinely loved her as a friend. Like, I consider her a sister. After getting to know her, I was like, you know, you're not a bad person. Like, I really love you as a friend. It was that click, you know, that connection. So, you know, we were friends for a while. And like I said, me and my boyfriend had been dating for a while. And at this time, I was in college, in my freshman year in college, and they were both in their senior year in high school. So, like, it's not a big age gap between us, but they are still younger than me. And I'm gonna get to that point. And, you know, everything's cool. She knows about him, he knows about her, but they have not formally met each other. But, you know, they've crossed paths, but they never, like I said, they never formally met each other. So, fast forwarding, me and my friend, my best friend, my sister, my ride or die. She tells me I'm gonna give her a friend. I'm gonna give her a name. Her name is
2,000 years later.
We're gonna call her Tamara. Anyways, we're gonna call her Tamara. Tamara says, hey, I'm gonna go to this college days at this college, even though at the time I was in college and I had no interest in going to the college. We were going to go visit. I still went because, you know, she didn't want to go by herself, and she's always been sheltered her whole life. So having a friend like me who's kind of like out there, outgoing, kind of like in a more dominant or personality was kind of beneficial to her, honestly. And her mother felt the same way because she was like, you know, I love the fact that you protect this and third. And I'm just like, protect, like. But like I said, she's been sheltered her whole life, so she's book smart, but she's not very life smart. She's one of those people. So, you know, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'll go to college days with her. And this is her first time, I believe this was her first time ever, like, going somewhere out of town without her parents, or like spending the night somewhere for a couple of days without them like right there with her. And so I was like, yeah, I could go to college days with her. But yeah, I did that. We went down there. It was a nice little car ride. We're sitting there Snapchatting, listening to music, talking, playing around with each other. It was just good vibes. So we get there. We're checking in. We get our little badges to say, hey, we're visitors, and we were like maybe interested in going to this college. And her family was also trying to talk me into going to the college because it was out of state, and they didn't want to send her out of state by herself because, like I said, old girl's been sheltered all her life, so she don't really know how to function in the real world. So, you know, I'm like, okay, yeah, we check in or whatever, and her parents have to leave because now only it's us on campus. And we're walking around, we're talking, we're looking at the buildings, we're about to go on a tour, and I see my boyfriend. And, you know, they formally meet. Hey, I'm Jerry. Hey, I'm Tamara. Yada, yada. I'm like, yeah, okay. That's all that needs to happen. That situation's done, over with, right? That's a lie. It's a whole lie. And you'll see why. I'm over here rhyming. So, you know, my boyfriend is at this college days event too. And he has his group of friends from his school. His cousins are with him. And, you know, they're touring around or whatever. The day goes on, we're doing tours. We're going to these little events that they're having. They had a band play, they had skating ring, they had food. We're just having the time of our lives. Like, we're just having fun. We're all hanging out together, everything's cool. And, you know, I'm noticing that my friend Tamara and Jerry, my boyfriend, his cousin, they're kind of flirting with each other. They're kind of liking each other. And this will be Tamara's first boyfriend. No, it wouldn't. This will be like her second boyfriend. And like, you know, they just liking each other or whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. You know, you date my boyfriend's cousin. Everything will be great or whatever. So we're all together. And mind you, my ex said he would never want me to exchange snaps with any of his friends or anybody he knew like that, you know? So I didn't even exchange snaps with his cousin, but everybody in our little group, we're all together hanging out. Everybody's exchanging snaps. And I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, well, I done said the name. I'm not sitting sitting here thinking, oh, Jerry and Tamara are gonna exchange snaps. Like, what would you need to exchange snaps with my boyfriend for? Like, what do y'all need to talk about? And it's not so much that I would think they would even be talking, but like, what would be the point, you know? Who cares? Like, why do you want to see her snaps, or why do you want to see his snaps? Like, I just didn't think it was gonna happen because of what he told me of him not wanting me to exchange snaps with any of his friends. But I will say, his best friend exchanged snaps with me, but we never spoke. Like, we never talked, we never texted, nothing like that. And if we did, it was like I commented under his snap, but we never held a conversation like that at all, ever. Period. Promise. And I showed him that facts to prove it, because before I even accepted his friend's follow request, I ran it by him and I said, hey, so-and-so added me or is trying to add me on Snap. Is this okay? He said yes. So I had the respect to even bring it to his attention when I could have just did it on my own, because it's not like I'm taking this relationship serious like that, you know what I mean? But like I said, I can respect the relationship. You know, that happens. And, you know, like I said, I'm not thinking that Jerry or Tamara exchange snaps, because what would be the point? This is my boyfriend, and like I said, you're liking his cousin. So fast forward again, college days, and let me back up a little bit. I gotta back up. During this time, me and Jerry are having a few problems. Our relationship, I would have to say, was rocky. We always argue. We never really seen eye to eye. It was just always a problem between us two. And by the way, guys, if this lighting is changing, it's because it's getting dark. My little ring light is kind of dim. I don't know how to make it any better. So it's getting dark in this little room. I don't think that light's helping. Let me just kind of step closer. So, yeah, all this is going on, and, you know, like I said, fast forward. I noticed something about my boyfriend is that whenever he gets around his friends, he kind of ignores me. Like, he acts like I'm not there because he's chilling out with them, and I don't mind nobody chilling out with their friends, but you can acknowledge my existence, you know. But, you know, I kind of let it go. I was like, whatever, you know. I was pissed off about it. I even almost broke up with him on that trip, because I'm just like, bro, the way you ignore me, and like the way you just like talking to your friends and their girls, and you know, I'm not really into you like that, but like at the same time, you still mine. So like you can respect me like I'm respecting you. I'm not out here talking to every guy or whatever. But you know, whatever. I'll like, you know. But yeah, like I said, we almost broke up on the trip, and yeah, we had a whole talk about that. And Tamara was like, you know, what's going on? I'm explaining to her the situation. Because like I said, this is supposed to be my road dog. This is my A1. So like, I'm telling her everything. She's like, oh man, it's crazy. And, like, she's telling me how much she like. I said the name again. She told me how much she likes his cousin. And you know, how she sees a future with them. And like, oh girl, she just falls in love real quick. So we're going to fast forward, and the trip ends. Time goes on, and you know, Tamara's relationship with Jerry's cousin is great, and you know, me and Jerry we're us. Really, I can't, you know, we have our up days, we have our down days. It's just, it is what it is. On Tamara's side, her and his cousin came into a little situation with one of their with a mutual friend. That's the word. They came into a situation with a mutual friend, and boy, when I tell you, that was messy. It was messy. What happens is, in this little situation, at this point, Tamara and the cousin have been dating for like, I want to say 4 or 5 months. And like, what she learns is that her mutual friend and Jerry's cousin have been texting a lot. Like, they've been not just talking, hey, how you doing, what's up, you know, WID. Hey, you want to hang out? Y'all want to meet up? You know, I like you, you kind of cute, you look cute today. They flirting back and forth with each other. And we're like, whoa. I don't know, I think they were exchanging photos. Don't quote me on that, because I'm not 100% sure. But you know how that go. So she's like, oh man, you know, she's heartbroken. And And I'm like, girl, you gotta laugh this off because that man was a joke. If he ain't serious about you, he crazy. Because, you know, I'm down for my friends. I'm like, you know what? Don't even worry about him. You're going to find somebody better than him. And she had just got out of a relationship that was crappy before she got in a relationship with him. So I felt bad for the girl, honestly. So I was there for her. I was like, don't worry about him. You could do so much better. Da, da, da. I'm just giving her the friend pep talk, the best friend pep talk, that sis pep talk. I'm like, we're going to find you somebody better. He was a scrub. I'm like, girl, you could do so much better than him. Like, you don't need him. Like, we're going to fast forward and we're going to find you somebody new, okay? But, you know, it took her a while to get over him, honestly. But after that situation, they became friends. And like I said, remember this. Her mutual friend, their mutual friends, and Jerry's cousin were talking back and forth with each other, flirting. It started out with friendly talk, but then it got a little bit more intense. So fast forward, you know, time goes on, she's slowly getting over him. And like, when I tell you this is my girl, like, this is my girl as to where we would FaceTime all day. You know, the friend you could be loud on the phone with, and it sounds like you arguing, but y'all just having a jolly old time. We'd be talking all day, fall asleep on FaceTime together. Like, that was just my friend. Like, I really did love her. I genuinely had love for her. I was like, you know, you like my sister to me. And, you know, it was just that type of friendship. It was that type of bond. And one time I went over her house because we were supposed to, she wanted us to spend the night, but I didn't really pack to spend the night. I kind of just packed to spend time with her after church or whatever. We're chilling in her room. I'm playing with her guitar. My boyfriend gives me a FaceTime call. Mind you, once my best friend Tamara and my boyfriend Jerry graduate, they're going to be going to the same college. So he gives me a FaceTime call and he's talking to me. He's like, why haven't you been talking to me all day? But I didn't really have service like that when I was over at her house. And plus, like I said, I was spending time with my friend. And I thought I had told him that, but I guess he didn't either get the message or, you know, he just still wanted to talk to me. And, you know, I'm talking to him a little bit on the phone. And then she starts talking to me.
Hey, Jerry.
And they start talking on the phone. I'm like, I'm thinking, you know what? Nah. I'm thinking about it too deep. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's not crackheads. It's not that deep. I'm just like, you know, I'm not even gonna be pressed about it. I'm gonna just let it go. But then it started getting a little too friendly for me on the phone. They're all like, oh, they kind of had like interest in the same major, and I think it was like something science related. And they're like, oh, in science class you can be asking me for help. No, you're gonna be asking me for help, and I'm gonna be helping you. I said, y'all going to a tutor that talks about helping each other. You be going to them tutors, not to each other. I said that because I'm just sitting here like, and they just kind of laugh it off. I'm like, yeah, I'm being serious. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, what y'all talking about? Y'all be going to each other, help each other out. Like, why y'all even hanging out like that? Like, the way y'all talking about it is like very flirty. But like I said, maybe I feel like maybe I'm tripping. I'm thinking too hard about it. So, you know, anyways, I get the phone back. Cause I'm just like, this is getting a little too much for me and my liking. I'm feeling some type of way. Cause I'm like, what is going on? Why y'all talking to each other like y'all best friends or something? So, you know, I take the phone and I'm just like, yeah. So anyways, back to what we were talking about. We're talking a little bit on the phone. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to hanging with my friend Tamara. And I'll hit you up when I get home. So we're chilling in her room, just having a good time, just chilling. I'm trying to forget about the little conversation that just happened, even though it literally just happened. And I'm still kind of heated about it, which is another reason why I didn't spend the night at her house, because I was still bothered about the conversation. And, you know, like I said, me and her had a really close friendship. And so I wanted to get on her phone for something. I wanted to post a snap of me and her on her phone. You know, because you know how you take each other's phones and you be posting each other on each other's phones. Just a friend. That's what girls do. It's just a friend thing. And you won't believe what I saw at the top of her phone.